Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. The Ghosts and Skulls Easter egg in Zombies in Spaceland takes a fairly long time to complete, but it does reward you with perma perks, and so for some players that's absolutely worth the effort. So today, I'm going to be walking you through exactly how to do it. I want to give a quick shout out to Glitching Queen, My Deck, Starburst, Champ Bailey's, RU Jellybra, and Enter Only, as they all did a bunch of work in trying to solve this and finding steps and stuff like that. So great job to those guys. Let's get into this. Before you guys even jump into game, I want to let you know that you will need to be doing the main quest Easter egg in order to do the Ghosts and Skulls Easter egg. So that means you have to kill the alien, you have to blow up the UFO, all of that before you can do this Easter egg. I have a full, comprehensive, ultimate guide for it on my channel, which is linked in the top right-hand corner of the screen right now, and in the description if you need a little assistance. So, you should equip yourself with good fate and fortune cards accordingly, so that you can get through that boss fight without any problems, and you're also going to want to be thinking about doing those steps in early rounds while you do some of the steps for this Easter egg, so that you can kind of get both of them working in tandem. Okay, so step one for this is to pop the group of balloons in the spawn. There's like 10 balloons there or something, pop them all, and when you've got them all popped, you should hear this tone. That signifies that you now have a coin in the Ghosts and Skulls machine. And the whole point of this Easter egg is that we're going to get 6 coins in that machine, we're going to power the machine up, and then we're going to play Ghosts and Skulls. And that is what is going to give us the perma perks, give us that Perkaholic at the end. Now that you've popped those balloons, you're going to want to start running around the map and looking at the names of the rides, because on some of the ride names, you'll see a little skull hiding on a certain letter. We're going to be running around looking for specific letters so that we can spell out the word ghost. So, starting with G, look for ride names that have a G in them. So, for example, the Galaxy Journey ride in the Journey into Space area, or the Roller Rampage sign in the Bumper Cars area. Once you see the skull, just look at it. You don't even need to shoot it or anything like that. Just look towards it, and it should explode into a sort of yellow flash, and that means you've got that skull correctly, and you can move on to the next letter. So, we go from G, with the locations that I just mentioned, to H, which can be on the H in Chromosphere, which is in the Kepler area, or on the H on the hyperslide sign. So if you're at the bottom of the slide, look up the slide and you should see the skull on the slide just there. Next up, we have O, of course, and that can be in one of 2 places, I believe. It can be in the Journey into Space sign, which is in Cosmic Way, or it can be on top of the O on the Cosmic Tunes sign in Polar Peaks. In case you're not aware, Cosmic Tunes is the DJ booth. Okay, so that's O. Now we have S, which can be on top of the S in the Star Mission sign in Journey into Space, or on top of the S in the Astrocade, which is going to be the sign above the alley to Blue Bolts. Finally, for the T, we've got the T in Octonian Hunter, which is in the Kepler area, or on top of the T in Moonlight Cafe, which is also in the Kepler area. I want to give a quick shout out to the FedEx truck who helped me out listing these locations. I'll also have them all listed in the description down below so that you guys can cross-reference if you feel so inclined. Once you have the T, that's great. You've now got another coin in the machine and you can move on to the next step. This one is a little confusing at first, potentially, but what you're going to want to do is take a look at the Ghosts and Skulls machine, and you'll notice that there's a number on there, 1984, and it's written in 4 colors: green, blue, pink, and black. Those colors correspond to the square panels on the dance floor in the Astrocade. And so what you need to do is take a look at the Ghosts and Skulls machine and take a look at that number. So it's going to be 1984. The one might be, for example, green. If it's green, go to the dance floor, stand on a green tile, and kill 1 zombie. Then, if for you the 9 on the Ghosts and Skulls machine is blue, then go stand on a blue tile and kill 9 zombies. Then, you get the idea. If it's pink next, for example, go stand on a pink tile, kill 8 zombies, and then finally, black is going to be 4, stand on a black tile, kill 4 zombies. Now, this step is a little weird because, in my experience, the most effective way of doing this is to stand on the tiles and get the right number of kills in order. So keep really close track of how many you've killed by looking at your little scoreboard. When you press the middle button on your controller, there'll be a little skull icon, and that's how many kills you've got. So just basically try to get exactly the right number of kills on each colored tile, and what should happen if you do this correctly, and if you kill enough zombies, and by the way, if this doesn't work, just keep trying and you'll get it eventually. It does take a little bit of time, and it is a bit finicky. Different people report that they get it via different methods and stuff, but this is the one that works for me. But once you've done it, if you check the machine again, and I highly recommend you do this fairly often, check the machine, and you might just have another skull in there, which means that you can move on to the next step. So you now have 3 skulls in the machine. What this is going to mean is that skulls are going to start appearing in the arcade games in the Astrocade. So, for example, if you're playing the basketball game, after a certain number of hoops, a skull is going to pop up. And if you manage to sink a hoop, it's going to give you a yellow flash and the skull's going to disappear. That means that you've completed the skull, or you've acquired the skull for that game. You need to go around the main games in the arcades, so that's going to be the basketball, skee ball, teeth game, the one where you sort of drop a ball in and it just goes in a random hole, the water gun game. All of those games, which I'll have clips of on the screen right now, will have a skull popping up at a certain time. And so you need to play the game effectively such that you basically get that yellow flash and the skull disappears. Once you've done it for one of the games, so let's say you sink a load of hoops and you get the basketball one done, start working on the other games, and don't get disgruntled and don't get frustrated if, specifically, the skee ball one gives you a bit of hassle, because I suck at skee ball. I literally went like 10 rounds trying to get the skee ball one done. It's stupidly difficult. I don't know why. I'm just bad at this game, but you might have a particular game that you're bad at as well, but be patient, go extra rounds if you need to, and the pro tip I would give you here is to buy the cryo grenades and buy the forge freeze from the arcade's gift shop. The reason being, you can use those things to freeze zombies and give yourself time to play the games unhindered. You can also activate the trap in the Astrocade to do largely the same thing. It will prevent the zombies from attacking you for a good chunk of time, and so if you need a couple of extra seconds to play the water gun game or whatever it might be, then you should be okay if you use the traps and you use the forge freeze and you use the cryo grenades. If you're not sure if you've got all of the games done, just go over to the machine. If you now have 4 skulls, then you're good to go with step number 5. And this is the one that requires that you have the main quest Easter egg done at the time of posting this video. This could be patched, and if it's patched, then great, but for now, you have to have that main quest done. I'm going to quickly reiterate, I have a very in-depth guide for it on my channel if you need it, so once again, it's linked in the description down below. For this 5th skull, we need a pair of shades. So, grab a pair of shades from a zombie that you kill, and what we're going to do is we're going to use those shades to observe the fact that having finished the main quest Easter egg and having already got 4 coins or 4 skulls in the machine back in the arcade, there's actually a new skull target just floating above the Pack-a-Punch itself. And this is going to be destroyed in the same way that we destroyed the UFO in the main quest Easter egg. So get one of your Pack-a-Punched Wonder Weapon pistols, okay? Go to the Welcome to Spaceland sign in the spawn and do exactly what you did to the UFO. Shoot the blue fuses around the sign so that they go yellow. Once you've shot all of them, it will channel a big beam of energy through the streetlights in the map, and it will blast up into the sky, and if you time it correctly, it will destroy the skull target that is floating there. It is possible to miss, and if you do, then just give it another go, try and time it, and remember, wear your shades in order to keep an eye on where that skull target is. Once you destroy it successfully, you've got 5 skulls, you're now onto your last one, and this one is pretty simple, I'm not gonna lie, it's fairly straightforward, as long as you have a brute in your game. So, if you don't have a brute, it's time to go a few rounds so that you get one to spawn in. As soon as one spawns in, what I recommend you do is kill off the rest of your zombies bar 1. So keep 1 zombie alive, keep your brute alive, and then go to the arcade. You're going to go right to the Ghosts and Skulls machine, and the easiest way to do this, by far in my opinion, is to get your zombie in a position where you can freeze it with a cryo grenade or a forge freeze or something. Just get it out of your way, okay? And then bring the brute past the machine, and you're gonna need the brute to zap the machine with its laser. So it needs to be firing its laser at you, and then you're going to want to go and hide behind the machine, and it should zap the machine. And if you do this correctly, and the zapping goes as planned, you'll be able to see that when you go back to the machine, it's powered up, it's got electricity flowing through it, and you can play Ghosts and Skulls. And this guide does not end here, because I'm now going to give you a few tips about actually beating Ghosts and Skulls so that you can get that Perkaholic in your game. As soon as you jump into the game, you'll see that there are a load of green specters just floating around. They're the ghosts, and there's going to be a wall of skulls in front of you. You're going to want to ensnare the ghosts that are flying around by holding your right trigger or whatever it is on your platform of choice, and then firing the ghosts at the skulls themselves. Now, the best way to do this, in my opinion, is to aim a little above where the skulls are, because the ghosts drop as you fire them, like they're affected by gravity, so bear that in mind. They have a kind of arc as you fire them towards the skulls, but also keep a close eye on whether any of the skulls have gone orange or red, because if a skull goes red, it means that it's going to be the next skull to try and escape, and if you have too many escapees in your game, you lose. Now, don't worry about going down. That's not really a problem here, because you get back up after a few seconds, but what you're going to want to do is prioritize any skulls that go red, because they need to be destroyed by hitting them with a ghost ASAP. But that doesn't mean that you can't destroy the other skulls as well. In fact, it's a very good idea if you've got any extra time to fire an extra ghost at one of those skulls and destroy it before it even goes red in the first place. It'll just make your life a little bit easier. So try and destroy as many skulls as you can, as quickly as you can, and try and prioritize the ones that are red, because otherwise they're going to escape. If you do this correctly and you get around about 160-ish skulls, you should be a-okay, you'll get it completed, you'll win, and Bob's your uncle, you'll get your Perkaholic. Hopefully, guys, this has been a useful guide for all of you. I've tried to make it fairly comprehensive. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below, and either I or one of my wonderful viewers will no doubt help you out. Thanks for watching, though. Leave a like if this has been useful, and I'll see you guys very soon in another Zombies video. Bye-bye.